I am always searching for that ultimate creative experience, so I'm always experimenting with different hardware or applications and workflows. And to that end, about 6 months ago, I purchased a large pen tablet, a Wacom Intuos Pro Large, model number PTH-860. I published a video where I shared my experiences over 6 months of using that tablet daily. You don't need to watch that video to understand this video. I will summarize the key points later. But if you are interested in watching, the link to that video is in the description below. And I had such a positive experience with that large tablet, I decided to go further and start experimenting with an extra large pen tablet. As we look across Wacom's line of tablets, we can see how the size changes. Roughly speaking, as we move from small to medium to large and extra large, the active area doubles every time we upgrade. A small pen tablet is about 25 square inches, a medium is about 50 square inches, a large is about 100 square inches, and an extra large is about 200 square inches. In my research for this video, I looked at data for over 130 pen tablet models that have been released by Wacom and other manufacturers over the past almost 25 years. And based on that data, here are my criteria for a tablet to be considered extra large. The active area must be at least 200 square inches, and the diagonal of the active area must be at least 20 inches. Please keep in mind, these criteria are for pen tablets. There are different criteria for pen displays. If I take these criteria and apply them to those 130 pen tablets, then we find exactly 4 that meet the criteria. And these 4 pen tablets were all made by Wacom. The most recent model was the Wacom Intuos 4 XL, model number PTK-1240. This model came out in 2009, and production of this model has since been discontinued. I bought this Intuos 4 XL tablet about 6 months ago on eBay. Including shipping costs, it cost a total of just under $350 US. In terms of physical device size, well, this thing is massive. Its physical diagonal size is 30.5 inches. So if you have a 32-inch display around, you can get a good sense of how big this pen tablet is in comparison. And it is thick. The recent Wacom Intuos Pro pen tablets are about 8 millimeters thick. The Intuos 4 XL is 28 millimeters thick. This is slightly more than 3 times the thickness of the most recent Intuos Pro models. The Intuos 4 XL model is also substantially heavier than the recent Intuos Pro models. It weighs about 7.7 pounds. Unlike the more recent Intuos Pro models, which have a USB-C port on the side, and you plug in a separate USB cable, the Intuos 4 XL comes with a permanently affixed cable. These older Wacom Intuos professional models have a plastic sheet on top, and you can lift them up from the bottom side. I don't think these plastic sheets were intended to be replaced. Instead, I think they were used for putting a piece of paper underneath them and then tracing over that piece of paper. We've been talking a lot about the physical characteristics of this device. Let's start talking about the drawing experience. The active area has a 22.6-inch diagonal and gives us about 230.4 square inches of active area. And the aspect ratio of the active area is 16:10. The Intuos 4 XL has the active area that is greater than 4 Intuos Pro medium pen tablets. And it has an active area that is greater than 9 Intuos Pro small tablets. Let's take a look at a few key drawing specifications. We'll look at pressure level, tilt, and the tablet resolution, the lines per inch, LPI. Tilt and LPI are the same for the latest Wacom Intuos Pro tablets and the Wacom Intuos 4 XL. Though you'll notice, whereas the latest Wacom Intuos Pro pen tablets have over 8,000 levels of pressure, the Wacom Intuos 4 XL only has 2,000. Based on my experience using Wacom products over many years, I still say that 2,048 levels of pressure is fine. It's more than enough to do quality creative work. Drivers are always important because without a driver, you can't use your pen tablet. In the latest Wacom driver version, which is 6.3.46-1, Wacom explicitly supports the Intuos 4 XL. The compatibility list does not mention the other models of the Intuos 4 series. However, I have had people tell me they've tried the other models of Intuos 4 and they do work with this latest driver. I'm happy that Wacom continues to support this model, though I do wonder when they will stop supporting it. In my recent video, where I talked about getting a used Wacom Intuos professional tablet, I do mention that you really always have to think about pen compatibility. The very latest Wacom Intuos Pro models do not come with pens that work with the Intuos 4 series, so I had to buy older pens to use this tablet. I bought a grip pen and an art pen. I didn't have much of an opinion on the grip pen, but I really love the art pen. It just feels great to hold. And it works with the Intuos 4 series, as well as all later series. Okay, now let's talk about what it was like to actually use the tablet on a daily basis. And this is going to be based on my experience over 6 months of drawing on this tablet almost every day. Before we go too far, we have to remember that I am talking about my experience. And a lot of this is essentially about ergonomic topics. And for ergonomics, it's going to be relative to you, your body, your posture, and how you like to draw. For me, the key thing you should keep in mind is I'm 6 feet tall, and I have slightly longer than average arms for someone of my height. And so you have to keep this in mind because with my longer reach, some things are comfortable for me that may not be as comfortable or possible for you. Let me start with telling you my approach to talking about my experience. Remember that I was drawing with a medium-sized tablet for many years. And about the same time, I purchased both an extra large tablet and a large tablet. And in this video, the approach I'm going to take is to compare and contrast my experiences with the large tablet and the extra large tablet. The 3 boxes represent the 3 active area sizes. The red region reflects the probability that my hand is in a certain region on that active area. As you can see, it's most dense toward the middle of the tablet, where I spend most of my time drawing, and it fades out as you get toward the edges. That means I'm spending less and less time with my hand in those positions. Here's what I noticed when I started using a large tablet and an extra large tablet. Initially, my hand was really staying very close to the same area as the medium tablet. My gestures did increase slightly when I got the large, and then slightly again when I used the extra large. But overall, I was falling back to old habits. And ultimately, I was not making the best use of all this extra active area. So I had 3 tactics to help me use more of this active area. The first tactic was to just be mindful of the gesture size. As you draw, the required gesture size is highly dependent on the zoom level of your canvas. What I found was I was zooming to a certain level that kept my gestures small. I tried to be mindful when I saw this occurring, and then I would try to zoom in a bit more so that it would require me to do larger gestures. Another tactic was simply to enlarge the canvas on the display. I use Clip Studio Paint as my primary drawing application. I made the tool windows thinner. That meant the canvas would occupy more space on my display. And then naturally, as I use this larger canvas, I will be using more of the active area. The third tactic I used is somewhat psychological. I started using a display that helped remind me to use larger gestures. So in my research for this video, I tried 4 different display sizes, 24-inch, 27-inch, 32-inch, and 50-inch, with the large tablet, the extra large tablet, and the medium tablet. Wherever you see a green box, that means that combination of tablet size and display size worked well for me. And for those cells where you see the smiling emote, those are the combinations of pen, tablet, and display size for which I had the strongest preference. For a medium-sized pen tablet with a diagonal of about 11 inches, my preference is to use a 27-inch monitor. For a large pen tablet with a diagonal of 15 inches, my preference is a 32-inch monitor. And with an extra large pen tablet with a diagonal of about 22 inches, my preference was a 50-inch monitor. And again, I have to say a disclaimer that these reflect my preferences. What works for me might not work for you. One thing that really struck me as I moved from a medium tablet to an extra large pen tablet or a large pen tablet was how different the experiences were. With a large tablet, the experience was somewhat relatable to a medium-sized tablet, but an extra large tablet feels very different than either a large or a medium-sized tablet. So I was really thinking and trying to understand, why does it feel so different for me? What I came up with was that it had to do with whether I was drawing or doing non-drawing activities with the pen. When I'm drawing on the canvas of some application, I always have control over the gesture size by controlling the canvas zoom. If I want to use smaller gestures, I just zoom out. And if I want larger gestures, I zoom in. So in that sense, the experience of drawing can be regulated by the zoom. The real difference is when I'm using the pen to do something other than draw. So for example, when you're using your PC with applications and you're not drawing on a canvas, but you're doing simple things like clicking on a file menu or trying to maximize a window or clicking on the Windows Start menu, those bits of UI are not on a canvas. And the distance you have to travel on the pen tablet to reach those UI elements are not controlled by any kind of zoom. And what you'll see is with the pen, you'll have to travel a noticeable distance to use those user experience elements. Imagine you have a pen tablet, and for right now, it does not matter what size it is. Imagine putting your pen in the very middle of the active area and then moving it to the upper left-hand corner. This would correspond to doing something like touching the file menu in an application. Obviously, in relative terms, you traveled half the diagonal distance of the tablet's active area. So let's take a look at the travel distance for these different classes of pen tablets. With a small or medium tablet, some of these movements are just flicks of the wrist. With a large tablet, you are traveling almost 8 inches to get to a corner from the center. With an extra large tablet, it's 11 inches. So what I'm trying to say here is that you will really often notice the effort it takes to go to the file menu or maximize a window, anything that makes you travel a lot, and you'll be traveling quite a bit with an extra large tablet. So when you think about using these tablets and how long it takes to adapt yourself from a medium-sized pen tablet to a large or extra large pen tablet, here's how I see the differences. For a large pen tablet, it felt different for a week, and larger gestures and slightly more effort were involved. But after 1 month, it felt really normal, and I basically forgot that it was not a medium-sized pen tablet. But with an extra large pen tablet, it always feels different from the beginning and even 6 months later. And I am always noticing the larger gestures and the extra effort. Now, I'm not complaining about all that extra effort. I love drawing on the extra large pen tablet, but it never lets me forget that it's an extra large pen tablet, and I'll never confuse it with a large or a medium-sized version. The most surprising thing that impacted me with the extra large tablet was the desk layout. With a medium-sized pen tablet, I don't have to think about this much. I can put my keyboard next to my tablet and everything works great. I never have to change the layout. With a large pen tablet, things really change. I can't use the same layout as a medium-sized pen tablet because when I put the keyboard and tablet side by side, either the keyboard will be too far away from me or the tablet will be too far away from me. I have to have 2 separate layouts, one optimized for drawing and one optimized for writing. When I need to write something, I'll just move the keyboard on top of the pen tablet. Of course, this means I can't really use the pen tablet, so I use a mouse instead. But this configuration makes it easy for me to write things for an extended period of time. So yes, it is a little bit of a hassle to have to reposition my keyboard depending on what I'm trying to do, but I feel using a large pen tablet is worth it, so I'm okay with this. When I first got the extra large pen tablet, I tried using the very same drawing layout that I had used for the large pen tablet. And this did not work for me for 2 reasons. First, it's extremely hard to reach that keyboard, and there is no way I can type on it because it's so far away from me. And there's no way that it is enjoyable to use that for keyboard shortcuts. It's extremely difficult and cumbersome to try to reach for those keys. The thickness of the device actually contributes to the problem here. The keyboard I use is much thinner compared to the thickness of the Wacom Intuos 4 XL. And the tablet is so thick, it actually hides the bottom 2 rows of keys from my eyes. So I can't see the keys clearly and it's hard to reach them. So this configuration is very difficult and was not working out. The second problem has to deal with how my arm is resting on the pen tablet. For a large pen tablet, or even for a medium, my forearm is resting on the pen tablet. It's very comfortable to draw this way, even if I have to reach the furthest corners of the pen tablet's active area. But with an extra large pen tablet, even with my longer arms, I find this extremely difficult to reach the corners or even the top part of the active area. If I have to reach those positions, I have to extend my arm fully out and hold it there, and I can't rest it on the tablet. This is extremely uncomfortable and very tiring. My idea to solve this problem was to get a stand of some kind for the pen tablet. The stand would solve 2 problems for me. First, it would allow me to rest my forearm on the pen tablet. Second, it brings the far corners of the pen tablet's active area comfortably within my reach. I'm not aware of any pen tablets that have legs or a stand to help put them at an angle that's more comfortable. So I had to go look for more creative solutions, and I came up with a little bit of a hack. And I'm sure many of you could do better, but it's what I had available at the time. I found this drawing board. It's really meant for drafting. It cost me about $60 on Amazon, and it would perfectly fit my Intuos 4 extra large tablet. This drawing board has this metal thing that slides up and down. I don't know what it does, but in any case, for me, it's useless. And more importantly, it prevents me from putting the pen tablet on the surface of the board. So I got a screwdriver and removed it. That left me with a clean drawing board surface, and this perfectly fits the Intuos 4 XL. But this leaves me with another problem. Now when I put the pen tablet on the board, there's nothing that will prevent the pen tablet from sliding off. So I don't have really any hardware skills, so I came up with the simplest thing I could with what I had available. First, I cut a section of Cat5 networking cable so that it matched the width of the drawing board. Then I secured that cable to the bottom of the drawing board with some gaffer tape. This gave me a ledge, so now I can put the pen tablet on the board and I'm not afraid at all that it's going to slide off. I'll admit it doesn't look very elegant, but it does work. Now that was my drawing setup. What about my writing setup? When I need to write something, I'll take the keyboard and put it on top of the pen tablet. This works, and it's not uncomfortable, it's just weird. And so really, I don't write a lot when I'm using my extra large pen tablet. This is more of when I need to type in a file name or something like that. So if I'm going to do some writing for an extended period of time, I don't bother typing with the keyboard on top of the pen tablet. Instead, I just go to another desk I have and use another computer and write there. Ultimately, what this means is the desk I have for the extra large pen tablet is dedicated for drawing and not for any other purpose. For both a large tablet and an extra large pen tablet, it's kind of difficult to use the keyboard when you're drawing. Even if I'm not typing, but just trying to hit some shortcut keys, it's really irritating and difficult to press the keys I need on my keyboard, which is very far away from me. My solution to this problem is to use this device called a TourBox. It may look like some Xbox game controller, but it's really just a programmable keyboard. And I configure it with shortcuts for my favorite applications, such as Photoshop, Illustrator, and Clip Studio Paint. What this lets me do is keep my right hand on the pen tablet with the pen, and keep my left hand on the TourBox, and then 90% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, I never have to touch the keyboard at all as I'm drawing. When I'm using a large pen tablet, the TourBox device is very useful and is a great convenience for me. But when I'm using an extra large pen tablet, the TourBox device is absolutely critical for me. I just want to emphasize that it solved a problem I had. And maybe you'll find other solutions to this kind of problem. So now you've learned a little bit about this device, and I've shared my experiences in using it. Let's wrap up this video with some basic conclusions. Would I recommend getting an extra large pen tablet? No, not at all. The vast majority of people should stay away from this. Let me tell you why. Number one, This model came out in 2009. And yes, Wacom still supports it with their latest drivers, but who knows how much longer Wacom will do this. One day, it may be the case that Wacom decides to stop supporting this tablet with its drivers, and then the next day, Windows or macOS might be updated in such a way that a new driver is required, and then that's going to be a real problem. There may be solutions like using Open Tablet Driver, but those are really much more complicated than relying on the driver that Wacom ships. Number two, it's getting a bit hard to find these extra large pen tablets. Neither Wacom nor any other manufacturer is making tablets of this size. So you have to rely on finding used tablets in places like eBay. And I've spent a lot of time searching eBay for these extra large tablets, and there isn't a very big supply of them there either. Third, even if you get an extra large pen tablet, you have to train yourself to start using that extra active area. And if you're not using it, then you've wasted your money. Fourth, because these tablets are so physically massive, you really have to think about your desk layout and how the ergonomics are going to work for you. As you saw from my experience, I had to spend more money and more time to make it work for me effectively. And even then, that required me to dedicate a desk for drawing and use a separate computer for writing. Okay, so those are all the reasons why I don't recommend it. Now, do I love using it? Absolutely, it's wonderful. I love using this every time I draw. Even with all the adjustments and difficulties I had to make, it's been a great experience for me. But if you're considering one, I just want you to take into account my experiences and make a thoughtful decision. Don't get it because you think extra large must be better. Get the tablet that works for you. And that wraps it up for this video. Thank you for your time, and I hope you found this video helpful.